Good afternoon and welcome to NYFP. In midday trade on this Thursday afternoon, the major U.S. stock averages are holding above the flat line. Joining me now is Mark Otto of Knight Capital Americas. Good afternoon. Thanks so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me back, Remy.
Well, we continue to see plenty of volatility here in the U.S. equity markets. We did get some better than expected U.S. economic data releases, but it just seems to be that focuses on uncertainty regarding central bank monetary policy. So what do you make of what we've been seeing so far, especially in the Japanese market?
Well, I think you hit the nail right on the head. Volatility is back. There's a lot of uncertainty in the market. The market doesn't like uncertainty. So up until now, globally, we're seeing central banks having this monetary easing accommodative policy. So I think they were a bit disappointed earlier in the week when Japan failed to address the volatility in their bond market. So we're seeing what they're calling a carry trade unwind that was sort of attached to the yen. So many indications are and reports are that if the Bank of Japan actually does address this issue going forward in the next couple of weeks, that these trades will more than likely be put back on.
And Mark, when we take a look at the dollar-yen pair, we're seeing that pair fall below the 95 level, hitting 10-week lows. So we're seeing plenty of volatility in that trade. But in terms of economic data releases, we got U.S. retail sales figures as well as jobless claims, which fell. And we have more data coming out tomorrow. So given that we also got that jobs report, what do you make of the latest economic data out from the U.S.?
It seems as though the market's reacting well off that data this morning. I mean, we came in, the market was actually lower. The overseas markets in Asia were much lower. So I think that it sort of buoyed the market. We're actually up 50 points right now, so that is relatively encouraging. I think most people that are here in the U.S. are going to be looking to the Fed meeting next week, though.
And we will probably continue to see some volatility. We've been seeing triple-digit moves to both sides of the flat line in terms of the Dow, and it's very similar to what we're seeing outside in terms of the weather pattern with the storm coming through. But what do you think investors need to pay attention to aside from central bank monetary policy expectations?
Well, I think that if any sort of sell-off is going to have staying power going forward, what you really want to look at is, one, the VIX, obviously, which is a barometer of fear in the market. The other is sector rotation. If there is a momentum shift in the market, more than likely we're going to see plays going into defensive plays and out of recent gains, which have been in financials, let's say in techs. So they'd be reverting over to things like healthcare and utilities. I think that'll be a precursor to a momentum shift if it does happen.
And Mark, last but not least, before I let you go, I do want to ask you about geopolitical concerns, in particular with Turkey. Now, protests do continue in that nation, and we've been seeing volatility in their currency as well as their equity markets. But what do you make of that situation, and how concerned should we be?
Well, as far as the markets here, I don't think we're getting that much movement off of the reaction in the news that's going on. I mean, it is terrible to see these headlines and what's playing out in the streets over there in Istanbul. However, I think going forward, if the situation is inflamed, it is a central hub of trade for that region of the world. It does sort of connect Europe and that region of the world as well. So there will certainly be growing concerns. I think that part of it will be more of an impact on unindustrialized countries, so the emerging markets. So we're seeing that impact with the MSCI emerging markets index. I think it's down about 9% right now, so on the year. So it is alarming and concerning going forward. Most people are going to be watching it if it is inflamed.